Good afternoon. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Good afternoon, Long Island pharmacists. Now do you recognize me? I am wishing you good health and prayers that we all come through the current crisis in one piece, health-wise, spiritually, and financially. I have been hearing and seeing and reading so many of the innovative and health preservative methods our pharmacists are using to get things done in this very, very trying environment. My hat is off to you. So, how about a quick PSSNY FixRx update? PSSNY and FixRx worked on a 6-point plan. The 6-point plan is called a 6-point plan for empowering pharmacists in response to COVID-19. And I suggest you look it up on the PSSNY website or the fixrx.org website and review it. It's got some great reasons why pharmacists should be elevated in the whole panorama of healthcare services and healthcare providers. I think it is would be very, very enlightening for legislators and patients and to get out on our social media so people can know how pharmacists are helping and how we may even help down the road, not just with Corona, but if there's a replay of Corona or for any other pandemic, and that doesn't even have to be a pandemic, just for the general health of our communities. The governor's budget is due out tomorrow, and we're not even sure, according to our lobbyists and PR firm, we're not sure if it'll come out on time tomorrow. There's been very limited face-to-face lobbying, and it's been very tightly guarded information whether the governor will come out with a budget tomorrow or not, or if it will be late. One positive point is that in the governor's budget, he would like to adopt the suggestions of the Medicaid redesign team, the MRT, and I'm not sure if you heard the governor on one of his broadcasts, but he even decided to decline federal aid on Medicaid and in favor of accepting the suggestions put forth by the Medicaid redesign team. If he accepted the federal aid, that would preclude him from allowing some of the suggestions to be put into place. And truth be told, some of those suggestions by the Medicaid redesign team are very pharmacy friendly. So to be continued. Pharmacy workers, everybody working in pharmacies is considered an essential worker. And I do believe on the Department of Health website, there are even guidelines that are pertaining particularly to healthcare workers, essential workers, of which we are. And I really can't praise. Look, I have a bunch of teammates at my pharmacies who are really working their fingers to the bone. And from everybody that I've spoken to, I know that we are handling, not just in my pharmacies, obviously, but in everybody's, we're handling 2, 3, 4, 5 times the number of phone calls. We have to talk patients off of ledges. We're doing 2 and 3 times the number of deliveries and curbside deliveries, and we're doing it probably with lower number of staff and reduced hours. So my kudos to you, as I said earlier. My hat is off to all of our pharmacists over the entire state. I'm not sure about these requirements for hydroxychloroquine prescriptions. I saw the original governor's guidelines. I did not fully comprehend them. Then I saw, I think somewhere I saw a clarification of them, and I actually got even more confused. But I think if a pharmacist uses good judgment, doesn't allow stockpiling, satisfies the needs of his regular patients who are on the medication chronically, I don't think anybody's going to have an argument with that type of behavior. The PSSNY convention for the annual convention that was to be held the end of June in Rochester is now canceled. I'm sorry because our own Tom D'Angelo was to be inducted at that convention as president, and from that day on, we were going to quote unquote chart the course for pharmacy in New York State and make strides to making our profession what we would like it to be. Hopefully we can do something as a substitute for that. And as a matter of fact, the whole convention committee is working on possibly doing some sort of virtual convention. And please stay tuned because that's to be continued. If anybody has any reputable suppliers that are reasonable and have the merchandise that we've been unable to find with our regular everyday suppliers, I'd be happy to, if you're willing to share that information, I'd be happy to publicize it among our membership and let people know that there are some oh, let me just show you. That's my little kitty cat right here. Oh, there he is. I call him Biggie. He's the most affectionate kitty cat that ever lived. No, I won't say that. He's one of them, but he is very affectionate. All right, sorry for that little interlude there, but I couldn't resist. You guys, you all know how much I love pussy cats. So, like I said, I would be happy to publicize any suppliers that have merchandise that our members can use. And also tomorrow, the NCPA, I believe it's tomorrow, is having an online webinar, I guess that's redundant, about the CARES Act and its impact on small businesses and in particular what may independent pharmacies gain from the CARES Act. So that's it for the little bit of update. But now for the heart of the matter of this broadcast. As Gloria says, Jake, it's all about you. Yeah, I guess it is all about me. I always do tend to make it about me. And I thank you all for allowing me to do so. And I really do get a kick out of it. And I hope you do find that I do bring something to the table. For the 2 days after our LIPS CE, I actually was the bench pharmacist at one of my pharmacies. And yes, I can still fill a prescription. I still know how. And by Friday afternoon, I was not dead tired, but I was very fatigued. But every bone in my body ached, and I just felt wiped out. Every bone, every joint, every muscle in my body ached. Like I felt like I had worked out, way overworked out at the gym, and I was suffering for that. And I was very fatigued also. So I decided to spend the whole weekend in and just rest. Just try and rest it out of me. Not really thinking that I had corona, but over the weekend I developed a cough and I was getting the chills. And I was starting to get a very, very dry mouth, and I didn't take my temperature right away, which maybe I should have done, but I didn't. But I was in contact with my doctor, and he says, "Look, why don't you go and get tested? Maybe you have corona." And truth be told, for the whole month before, um, I had been running around like a lunatic without my head on from every meeting and work and social engagement. I didn't stop for 4 weeks prior to that weekend. And I honestly just felt I was really just being run down, and that I just needed a little time to recuperate. But I listened to him, and I went to the North Shore Hospital emergency room in Manhasset. I call it the torture chamber. And no offense to anybody that works there. Um, they did, they were doing triage, and the more serious patients they were taken care of right away, and some of the less serious ones they put in a little cubicle without any water. And then when I went out, I got hollered at, "You're not allowed out of there." And I said, "But we're dying of thirst in here. There's 4 or 5 of us hacking like crazy, and we have nothing to drink." So the person, finally brought us a few bottles of water, and we registered via cell phone while we were in that little cubicle. And after being tortured for about 3 or 4 hours, they brought me into one of the emergency room suites and put me on a gurney, and then ignored me for a little while. And finally, a doctor came in, examined me, did a chest x-ray, a sonogram, and diagnosed me with pneumonia. So I had pneumonia, and he said, "All right, now I'm going to test you for corona." And I call her Lady Corona. No offense to any women that might be listening, but I called her Lady Corona because she's so cute with the little tentacles that they show on that picture, with the purple color and the bright green color and the fuchsia. And she had those very colorful tentacles wrapped around me and was squeezing me to the point where I wanted to scream. But I got diagnosed with the pneumonia. He put me on doxycycline, and one of our members was sweet enough to have it dropped off at my house because her pharmacy is right down the block from where I live, and her son is to be blessed because he brought me that. I really appreciate it. And from there, I was a waiting game. I got progressively worse with my symptoms. I felt like I was sleeping on a bed of nails. That's how every cell in my epidermis was hurting me. And even my scalp was on fire. I felt like my scalp was on fire. It hurt me so much. And I thought it was the bed, actually, that was causing me pain. I wanted to take it out. I told my wife, I said, "Gloria, when this is over, I am taking that bed to the curb and setting it on fire. It is a torture chamber, worse than even the hospital emergency room gurney." And I don't know what it was. I must have been hallucinating. I really do think that I was hallucinating, because at one point, my mouth was so dry, I had no sense of taste. I, every bone ached. I had the fever, the chills. The fever wasn't high, thank God. It was just, the highest it got was like 101. I had the sweats in the middle of the night, which I still have, and I had the coughing. So I had I have to say, I had most of the symptoms. Like I say, the only one that really I didn't get, although maybe I didn't realize, I didn't lose my sense of smell, which a lot of people have told me they've had as one of their initial symptoms. So, I'm drinking like a fish. I'm urinating every 20 minutes, about 2 teaspoons worth. And in my head, I'm having this hallucination that I'm never ever going to think anything is pleasurable again. Like I would think when I was a kid in my old neighborhood in Queens, our pizza place was Lorenzo's. And they had a Sicilian slice that was like that thick and like yay big, that big. And I would go in and say, "Can I get a corner slice, please?" And 30 cents later, I had the most absolutely delicious meal with a small fountain Coke. And I don't know. If ever since then I thought about it, I would always get a warm, pleasant feeling. And while I was having these hallucinations, nothing gave me pleasure. I couldn't think of anything that I said, or, oh, I remember that to be pleasant. But actually, gradually, after a few days, 5 days to be precise, or 6 days, I got my results, positive corona, and I did start the Plaquenil and the Zithromax. I took 4 pills the first day and then 2 a day for I think another 5 days. And I took 1 Zithromax a day. And honestly, I do feel the medicine helped me start recuperating a little faster. I don't know, maybe I would have, I was recuperating already, but I do contend that it helped me. I'm still coughing. I still have some sweats at night. I'm still, like, you saw me wearing a mask. I'm still wearing a mask when I come out of my room. Gloria has a positive corona, and she, of course, has all these underlying health conditions. Boo-hoo. No, I'm just joking. But I'm keeping a very watchful eye on her, and she is actually feeling a little better herself. My father-in-law's aide, who lives with us down in the den in the lowest level, with my father-in-law, she has a positive corona, and my father-in-law, 102 years old, is a rock. Nothing. Max, how are you? Fine. I feel good. I say, what's new? He says, the market is down. I said, okay, keep me informed. Anything else? No, I feel fine. He's a rock, this guy. I guess maybe having been out in the Polish forest for 3 years, working as a concentration camp slave with maybe a bowl of brown water and a crust of moldy bread every other day, maybe that gave him the fortitude and the strength of character and health that he has today. God bless him. And God bless all of you. I know this was a little bit of a long-winded diatribe, but look, maybe somebody can benefit from even hearing about my symptoms, about how the medication I do believe helped me, and how I am definitely getting my mojo back. I am on the road to recovery. I appreciate everybody that's reached out to me to check in on me and my family. I so appreciate all of you and everything that you're doing for our communities. I respect and honor our profession of pharmacy, and as usual, I will sign off and say anything that I can do for you or that you want me to share with our membership, please let me know. You know how to reach me.